Got some automotive video clips. Let's check some of this out.
Dubai, we don't go to the gas station. The gas station comes to us. Here you can see my gas tank is completely empty, so there's no fuel left in the tank, fully empty. Now we're gonna order the fuel from the Carrefour app. So you select your car, you click fuel. So gas is gonna come between 6 to 8 p.m. Super full tank on my Mercedes G-Wagon. I click Apple Pay, pay with my card.
All right.
And that's confirmed. All I gotta do is leave my fuel tank.
Really?
It is so simple in Dubai. My car's been unlocked. The guy comes, fuels up the tank.
Oh, come on.
Leaves. And this is how it's done in Dubai.
That's how it's done in Dubai. I guess in Dubai, you can have your car filled up with gas wherever you want. It just shows up. That is an interesting business idea if you're looking for a new business. What the hell is that? Crazy ass exhaust. I've seen those before, those Cars animations. What the fuck? That was like an old lady too. Yeah, I've seen those around before. All right, that was interesting. All right, we'll see. Car crash test at 5 kilometers per hour. Oh! Oh, okay, that was it. All right, yeah, interesting. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, here we go again with the whole Cars look. Cars in real life. That's kind of cool. I could dig that. Although in the United States, at least in the state of Florida, you're not allowed to have any moving lights on your car regardless of color, especially, obviously, the red and even more especially blue. So let's see what's next.
Why are Chinese cars so cheap? Or maybe Europeans are just overpricing theirs. The truth is, China's way of making cars is very different from how it's done in Europe or the US. China has a clear strategy. First they copy, then they improve. Until recently, they didn't spend huge amounts of money or years developing new technologies, they just copied them. They also don't spend much on training experts. They simply hire them from other countries by offering good money. In China, the rules for safety and certification are often less strict than in the EU or the US, which helps bring cars to the market faster. They are not afraid to release unfinished cars to quickly get feedback and improve them later. This saves both time and money. Many companies make most of the parts themselves, so they don't rely on outside suppliers. On top of that, the Chinese government gives big subsidies to car makers, which allows them to build on a massive scale, add cheap labor to the mix, and the cost gets even lower. Also, for many new Chinese brands, low prices are the main tool to grow and beat the competition. Why are China?
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, China, they make a lot of their stuff in-house, and yeah, they undercut a lot of people, and they do a lot of copy paste when it comes to intellectual property. I mean, they take like $500 billion worth of intellectual property from the United States alone, and that's especially true with their automotive industry. Anyway, look at this. Spikes on semi-trucks. Have you ever seen these? I have. What do they use them for?
Why do some trucks actually have spikes on their wheels? They might look dangerous, but the real reason they exist isn't what most people might think. On large trucks, the lug nuts stick far out from the wheel, which means they're exposed to constant road debris, salt, moisture, and grime. And since trucks often travel hundreds of miles every day, that exposure adds up, leading to corrosion, wear, and even dangerous mechanical failures if the lug nuts weaken or come loose. So to protect those parts, drivers install pointed lug nut covers that act like shields, deflecting debris and keeping the threads cleaner and safer over time. They're usually made from lightweight aluminum or plastic and not hardened steel, meaning they're not built to hurt and actually built to last.
Metal.
And since the spikes are very large and noticeable, some truckers even say they make it easier to spot loose or wobbling lug nuts while driving, as any shake becomes much more obvious. But maybe more importantly, the spikes aren't only for just guarding, and they're also used to send a message. Their sharp profile makes the truck appear wider, warning nearby drivers not to drift too close in tight lanes or city traffic. And because truckers rely on keeping distance to avoid blind spot collisions, the visual intimidation actually reduces. Why do some...
I mean, I don't know if that's exactly true. I believe the first part where it prevents road debris from building up along the lug nuts. I mean, that makes sense to me. The whole deterring cars, I mean, maybe, but I think the real practical reason is they come to a point just to keep debris off of them. But I mean, yeah, I guess there's a twofold to that. That's what I thought. I thought they used those spikes to prevent cars from sideswiping them. But if they're not made out of metal, if they're made out of plastic, it'll just break them if somebody sideswipes them. All right, what else we got here? Life hacks. That is clever, man. I have many a time had issues pulling fuses out, and I've always used needle nose pliers. That's really interesting. I'm gonna have to try that. What if that really works?
It's fake.
What? Oh, come on. Really? Oh, I don't know if I believe that. Come on, that's too easy. I mean, look, I've put tint on cars before, and it takes a lot of work to get those bubbles out in some cases. Just rolling down your windows. I mean, maybe it works. I don't know. I never tried that before. That's interesting, though. All right. All right. Cars versus unmarked speed bump. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Fucking dump trucks. Yeah, he knew what was up. Oh, G-Wagon. All right, that was it. That was a good one. What is this little thing? This has got to be in Eastern Europe or in Russia. I mean, why, dude? Look how crammed in there he is. He could barely even fit. I mean, I admire their ingenuity. That probably took a lot of work to pull that off. All right, so why Toyota is killing the Supra? So I think we're gonna get an educational
Word on the street
lesson
is that
here.
Toyota is killing the Supra, and we're gonna talk about why that may be a good thing, while I drive the best one they've ever made. So why is Toyota killing off the Supra? Well, because BMW is killing off the Z4, which is the platform that this car is based.
Yes, believe it or not, for people who are Supra enthusiasts and they haven't been following the whole Supra thing lately, yeah, Supras are modeled after the BMW in terms of, I believe, the engine or the drivetrain. And that's a huge disappointment to a lot of Toyota enthusiasts because, you know, BMW, they're notorious for requiring a lot of work and a hell of a lot of maintenance. And that kind of sucks for being a Toyota, which is supposed to be, you know, well regarded for their longevity, and I don't know, that it's just irritating.
That's allowed us to get a Supra powered by one of the best six-cylinder engines of the decade. But it also means that the Supra can only be as good as BMW.
It's ugly too,
makes
man.
the
That's
Z4
so ugly.
platform. And the Z4 is the least popular.
Look, I mean, if you're a car enthusiast, you might agree with me. There's many different schools of thought on this, but I think the most badass looking taillights for any 1990s vehicle, JDM or otherwise, is the Toyota Supra. That just, I mean, no question,
BMW in
in
America.
my opinion.
So naturally, BMW hasn't made the Z4 the best car it can be. But what if Toyota took the Supra development into their own hands and built a new platform from the ground up?
Yeah, they
Sure,
should.
it would be expensive to make.
Bring back the 90s.
It could also be the best Supra in its truest form.
Bring back
and
the Mark
cars like
IV.
the Lotus Emira are proof that you
That's
can
what
do
they should
really
do.
cool stuff with the Toyota powertrain if you know what you're doing. But what do you guys think? Are you going to miss the Toyota Supra?
No.
I think this was a pretty cool generation. Word on the
No.
street is that Toyota.
I think that was a huge disappointment, a huge letdown. It's a monstrosity. Toyota could have seriously done without that. I mean, I'm sure they've still got all the blueprints. They still have everything necessary that they probably could use to rebuild the Mark IV Supra. They should really bring that back. That would be absolutely insane. Really, any kind of 90s JDM cars. I mean, I'd like to see the Honda CRX redone. I know it's not fast, and I know a lot of people don't like it. I like the way it looks. I just like the hatchback look of it, but that's just me. Anyway, let me go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, we got Yusef here.
How bad it is. I mean, SRP of
Customer shocked on her Maserati depreciation when trading it in.
That's you take from this.
It's only worth 20. And she only bought it 3 years ago.
Hello?
All right, hold on. Let me adjust the volume a little bit. It's a little harder hearing.
Hey, this is Yusuf, the car dealer.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about you?
Good, thank you for asking. Thank you so much for calling me back, too.
Absolutely. So I'm calling about the Maserati.
Yeah, don't buy a new Maserati.
Break it down for me if you don't.
Unless you want to
It's
flush a
20K,
shitload of
upside
depreciation
down,
out
you told me. I have
the
good credit,
toilet.
so
Or down the
it's like
toilet.
$750. I do have money down.
A lot of
but
money, rather.
Obviously, based on the situation I talked to you about,
Yeah.
I would like to not put so much down if I don't have to, just because I don't know what the future looks like right now. This every day, and I really appreciate you taking the time to guide me.
God, what is wrong with people, man? If you don't have a lot of money and you don't know what the future is holding for you, and you don't know what to expect in the weeks or months ahead, why are you looking to buy a new car, especially trading in a vehicle that you're heavily upside down on? That makes no sense to me. Just keep up with the responsibility that you put before yourself and just pay off the damn car, and then keep it for as long as you possibly can. Or just go buy a cheap cash car. I mean, people are definitely afraid to be seen in an older car, thinking that people are going to shame them or something like that. I mean, look, people, they care as much about the car that you drive as you care about whatever car anybody else drives, which is really not at all. I mean, why do you give a shit what somebody else drives? You really don't. I mean, nobody really cares. Who cares? I mean, unless you're trying to make somebody jealous or something, and if that's the case, then dude, you got way too much time on your hands.
Absolutely. So you do have a great
get financially responsible, man.
5%,
especially with your vehicle.
So you owe around 41,000. Wholesale on that car is between, like I said, that range is going to be between 20,000 to maybe 23 on the top end. So you are 20,000 upside down. Here's the problem, right? You got great credit.
20 grand upside down.
I know you're trying to move. The problem is unless you put a significant amount of money down, your negative equity is going to transfer over to a different car. So then if you're buying a newer car, it's going to depreciate. That will put you in an even worse situation because typically you'll have more negative equity. So it's just like eating this consistent. It's just in order.
Yeah, he's right. It's just an ongoing thing. It's just rolling a snowball down a hill. She's going to trade that car in for another new car or even another used car that's new or used. They're going to have to tack on $20,000 onto that next vehicle that she gets because this Maserati she has, she owes $20,000 more than what the car is worth. So when she trades it in and gets another car for, let's say, $50,000, they're going to have to tack on another $20,000. So now she owes $70,000 on a new $50,000 car. And as soon as she drives that $50,000 car off the lot, it's going to depreciate to, let's say, $40,000 because it goes from new to used. So now she owes $70,000 on a $40,000 vehicle, and it rapidly depreciates from there. And that's what's happening to pretty much all cars. That's been happening for a very long time, but cars they seem to be depreciating much faster today than they ever have in the past, and that's especially true with electric vehicles.
For you to get rid of this, either just go lease a car, but the caveat to that is you will have a higher payment. Let's say you find a lease that is, I don't know, has $20,000 in incentives. It'll eat up your negative equity. But instead of
that is an option,
MSRP or the invoice of $40,000 from when it was originally marked to 60, now you're back at the original 60 of the invoice for the car that you're leasing, and it'll be a significantly higher payment.
Well, my payment's 11. I wouldn't mind going up to like 15.
So if you're paying $1,100 a month for
but you don't know
the
what the future
Maserati,
brings,
and you're comfortable going with $1,500 a month. Like finding I don't know if you're looking for a luxury car.
She's paying $1,100 right now for her Maserati, but she is perfectly comfortable going up to $1,500 a month, even though she doesn't know what the future brings. So what's the problem with just continuing to drive your Maserati, dude? It's a Maserati. I mean, most people consider that bragging rights. What kind of car you drive? I drive a Maserati. I mean, she's already in one. Just keep paying it.
Audi, Mercedes,
pay it
BMW,
off.
Or if you're looking
whatever's smart, because I've been learning such a huge lesson with COVID and everything that the market was so it was booming, right? Everything is so shady. So I just want to do the smart thing, and that's why I messaged you.
Any lesson you take from this: never buy a Maserati. Always lease it.
Never.
I've learned that.
Never buy a Maserati.
No,
it's horrible.
No.
I had a Ghibli and I had this one, but the Ghibli crashed. I got an accident.
I think it's a Stellantis vehicle, isn't it?
It was considered total
because
it was so expensive to fix minor little issues.
Which is hilarious.
I'm sorry to bother you too. I think I just want to keep it and not have a car payment after I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like 100%. Just for a little while. I'm over that phase of trying to ride nice and prove something.
Why, dude? Who gives a shit?
Humbled you. I'll send you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, that's Yusef. He's got a lot of really good stuff on his channel. He's a lot more popular on TikTok, I think, than on YouTube. But yeah, he's got some great content, especially if you're into buying cars and you're looking into something to buy. I mean, he gives out tons of good advice on his channel, so you ought to check him out at some point.
Some car features seemed like the future, until they aged like a Maserati's resale value. Starting with car phones. Once, the ultimate flex, found in many luxury cars in the 90s and early 2000s. But now, well, as pretty much everyone carries a smartphone on them, car phones became a fancy brick with buttons. Moving on to motorized seatbelts. At first, they seemed like a nice automation for extremely lazy people that can't do basic functions. But then, it turned out that they had this slight tiny issue, where they would strangle people if they didn't buckle up properly, because the shoulder part was motorized, but you still had to buckle the lap belt, and if you didn't, you could end up being strangled. And now old school navigation systems, they really age the interior of the car and are pretty much useless in older cars. And as the screen trend is growing strong, in a few years we'll have interiors full of screens that can barely do half of the functions they're supposed to.
Yeah, screw that, man. I can't stand screens. That's why I drive a 90s car. I think we had a car that had those seatbelts when I was a kid. I think it might have been a Dodge Shadow or something like that. Maybe it wasn't that. We had something like that, but yeah, I remember those from back in the day. Blast from the past.
There's a saying, there are only two types of air conditioning in this world, the Jetta MK2's AC and everything else. So why the hell is the Jetta's AC so ridiculously powerful? First off, it runs on Freon R12, the same stuff they used in industrial freezers. Actual cold storage warehouse level coolant. You're not chilling the car, you're flash freezing it. Second, the Jetta MK2 doesn't even bother with the temperature controller. Once it's on, it's full blast. No mercy. And with super short air ducts, that icy air punches you in the face immediately. You can literally see the cold fog coming out the vents. Sometimes the damn vents even frost over. 1 click, frostbite warning. 2 clicks, minor hypothermia. 3 clicks, northern lights spotted from the back seat.
Northern lights spotted from the back seat. That's awesome. Oh man, I never use air conditioning. My car has air conditioning. I never use it unless it's pouring down rain and the windows start fogging up from the inside. Never have used it. Never liked air conditioning. I've lived, believe it or not, I've lived in Tampa Bay for the last 20 years. I never use air conditioning in my car just because I just prefer the windows down. Even in the dog days of summer, even if I'm in stop and go traffic, I really honestly don't mind it. I mean, if you can't stand the heat, then why the hell move into the kitchen? All right, let's go. I think this is the last one I got. This is Jaguar, in case you've been living under a rock or if you just don't really pay attention to the car market. This is the new Jaguar. They're reinventing the vehicle. Actually, they're reinventing the whole company, and this is what we have to look forward to.
This is the biggest fall off in car history, and we're talking about Jaguar. The Jaguar F-Type Type R was a British Ferrari. It had a supercharged 5-liter V8, nearly 600 horsepower, and a sound that could shake windows. It looked exotic, it drove like a missile, and it gave Jaguar a real shot at the supercar world. That car wasn't just fast, it had a soul. It was loud, dramatic, and beautiful, a rare mix of class and chaos. You didn't have to explain it, people saw it, heard it, and respected it. And now, a fully electric box-shaped EV that looks like a rejected Tesla sketch. No curves, no presence, no sound, just a flat face, plastic edges, and a glowing badge. There's no engine, no exhaust, and no emotion, just silent speed and a giant screen inside. Jaguar said it's part of their reinvention, but what exactly are they reinventing? Because from where we're standing, they went from building art to building appliances. Even worse, this is supposed to be their new identity starting in 2025. All electric, no more V8s, no more sound, and no more character. The F-Type was Jaguar at its best, and the Type 00, it's Jaguar forgetting who they are. Their slogan is copy nothing, and respectfully, they're right. Nobody wants to copy that brick. This is the biggest.
Nope. And you know what? Rich people, I think they've had their fill with electric vehicles. I mean, they've virtue signaled enough. They bought this, they bought that. I mean, I think that rich people, for the most part, they've probably had enough with EVs. I mean, I think they've probably signaled to enough people that, oh, I'm all about the environment, all about, you know, trying to go green to save global warming and all that, or climate change, whatever buzzword we're using today. So yeah, I don't think that's really going to play out too well for Jaguar. And honestly, I'm not sure how much they're going to cost. They're not ready for sale just yet. I think they're still working on rolling them out, but we'll see how that progresses with Jaguar. I'm sure it's not going to go over well for them. But anyway, that's all I got. See you later.